Adik-adik yang lecturer yang dihormati, adik-adik yang disayangi. Lagi?
Yang muda disayangi.
Yang muda disayangi. Macam hari tu
Jadilah
kan?
macam kakak.
Hari tu kan
Yang
warga
tua
tua.
macam mana pula?
Hari tu kan warga tua kan sampul masyarakat. Siapa cakap dulu?
Jangan nanti Pak Kamal tacing hang ni.
Pak Kamal ada ke?
Tak tahulah aku selagi dia masuk hari ni. Pagi ni nak ikutkan. Aku tengok pagi ni ramai je duk mesej-mesej ni. Maksudnya macam semua macam free je tengok.
Oh, tak ada lah. Ni berkaitan perempuan. Boleh tak lelaki jangan masuk? Aku kalau ada
Mana
butang
boleh.
kick tu, kalau ada butang kick aku akan kick lah siapa-siapa lelaki tu.
Itulah dia siap-siap tak buat. Tak
Ha?
boleh.
Kan?
Itulah dia siap-siap
Aku
tak buat. Tak boleh.
Mula-mula aku ingat kita talk macam ni, sembang macam ni lah kan. Sekali tiba-tiba kena bagi talk, aku dah jam ni celaka. Bukan? Apa? Hampir Ash.
Betul.
Aku mana tahu kan kata aku. Aku ingat Facebook Live hang boleh jawab-jawab kat situ.
Facebook
Okey,
live macam, hello.
Kita dah mula dah ni.
Saya
Kita dah mula.
lock. Okey. Serius. Fiona, jangan tergelak. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okey.
Best X.
Okey, 1, 2,
thank you.
3.
Pen aku hilang.
that makes a reality of the potential value of science by translating scientific knowledge into tools, resources, energy, and labor to bring them into the service of man. To make contributions of this kind, the engineer requires the imagination to visualize the needs of society and to appreciate what is possible, as well as the technological and broad social age understanding to bring his vision to reality. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the School of Materials and Mineral Resources Engineering, University Science Malaysia.
Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Syed Fuad bin Syed Hashim. I'm actually an alumni of Mineral Resources Engineering Program. And I'm currently the lecturer also in Mineral Resources Engineering Program. My field of expertise is mineral processing. So before I joined as a lecturer, I'm actually an assistant metallurgist in Malaysian Smelting Corporation. As assistant metallurgist, I'm looking into the process of refined tin and everything. So, but currently I'm part of the teaching staff for Mineral Resources Engineering Program in University Science Malaysia. Okay, Mineral Resources Engineering is actually a unique program being introduced back in 1985 to cater for a mining industry in Malaysia per se. So, but the program is not really focused in one particular field that we are talking about, just mining. The unique about Mineral Resources Engineering is they are covering three scopes of important in mining, which is geology, mining, and processing. And continuation from there, we are also taking care of the subject of environmental control while doing the mining. So the key component in Mineral Resources Engineering is actually the mining part and the processing part, which we also being supported by the geology subject that covers the whole spectrum of mineral resources engineering. That's the unique part about Mineral Resources Engineering Program offered by University Science Malaysia. Okay, when we talk about minerals, people might refer that as a mineral water or something that not relates to what the subject matter of mineral is all about. But realizing or not, mineral is around us and we need minerals in our daily life. Starting from baby until we do construction, all need minerals. For example, while you're doing your diapers for babies, you might include fillers like limestone to make the diapers. You need talc for babies that come from minerals. You want to do your construction of your house, you need bricks that come from minerals, sand and gravels. You want to make beams for your highway and everything, you need aggregate that come from quarry, either granite quarry or like limestone quarry. So these are the example of why minerals are important. In fact, during your plastic making, your rubber glove and everything, they need fillers. Why? The fillers came from where? From the minerals, limestone, silica, you name it. Those are the things that being used in your daily life. Minerals in your toothpaste, in fact, they have minerals inside there. Therefore, the importance of mineral is very, very important in our daily life, and that's where we need to get the minerals from our earth that God given us. Okay, when we talk about mineral resources engineering program, they are specific in nature. Okay, so these students that graduate from mineral resources engineering program, they will end up in vast industry from mining, quarrying, and also into the downstream where they control the environment, what the effect of having the mining being done. So the importance of mineral resources engineer is very clear. People might ask where our student will end up as they graduate from mineral resources engineering program. Okay, we have been producing our students back in 1985 until now. They are all over sector, private sector, government sector, and also in fact, they work overseas as well. So I'll take for example in mining per se, I mean they end up in most of mining industry in Malaysia like gold, iron ore, and other types of mining that are available within Malaysia. You name it, you go to any mines in Malaysia, you ask them, they are graduate from USM, which is Mineral Resources Engineering. Also in quarries, we have more than 300 over quarries in Malaysia. And remember, most of these quarry required quarry engineer or mining engineer to work over there to get the good human capital to really look into the subject of quarry development and blasting and so on. So they need specialists of minerals background or mining background that we produce. So these are the students that will end up in most of the quarry as well. So upon that, our students also being trained to do some elective subjects that cover the oil and gas as well. So some of our students also end up in oil rig, for example, offshore, doing analysis of geophysics of the data where the oil is. So they're being trained in such a way as well. So that actually some subjects that are being introduced to really enhance our students to be more flexible in entering the job market. But the most important thing is, with any other subject, you need to be excel in every subject, every courses that you take. For sure, you have a good personality, you will end up having good jobs and good career path. All right, so I've already covered most of the importance about mineral resources engineering program. You see the unique about the program. Therefore, come, join us, be part of us. Let's get thrilled and let's get motivated with this program, and we're here to teach you the rest.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi kepada semua hadirin yang sudi menyertai program kita pada hari ini. Yang saya hormati barisan pensyarah, speaker-speaker jemputan dan hadiri sekalian, untuk pengetahuan semua. Sebelum saya memulakan majlis, saya ingin mengajak para penonton yang menonton kita punya live agar sudi untuk berkongsi kita punya pautan live supaya lebih ramai menyertai kita pada sesi hari ini. Okey, untuk pengetahuan semua, challenging path as women in mining adalah topik pada pagi ini. Bersesuaian dengan topik tersebut, pihak kami telah menjemput dua panel jemputan yang hebat. Hebat kerana mereka adalah wanita yang telah berkecimpung dalam bidang kejuruteraan ini bertahun. Before we proceed our talk session today, marilah kita pergi memperkenalkan speaker pertama kita. Nama yang diberi Noor Extayani binti Muhammad Mustaza, maafkan saya. Beliau merupakan alumni program kejuruteraan sumber mineral USM pada tahun 2006 hingga 2010. Sekarang, beliau bekerja di Hume Cement yang berhad sebagai Assistant Manager Kuari. Tanpa melengahkan masa, dipersilakan Puan Extayani dengan talknya. Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum dan selamat pagi kepada adik-adik dan juga barisan lecturer dan senior lecturer. Hari ini saya akan bagi talk yang sebenarnya sangat ringan lah, tapi it's very meaningful untuk semua student-student sumber, especially wanita-wanita yang rasa lost bila dekat dalam kursus ni. Sebelum tu saya kenalkan dulu nama saya. Sorry. Okey, nama saya Noor Extayani binti Muhammad Mustaza. Saya dibesarkan dan dilahirkan di Parit Muntah, Perak. Saya selepas habis sekolah, saya sambung dalam jurusan fizik dekat matrikulasi Penang. Lepas tu saya sambung dekat USM dalam bidang sumber mineral lah. Kebanyakan orang fikir macam mana, mesti ramai orang tanya macam mana kita boleh pilih course sumber mineral ni. Sebab daripada topik session pertama pun tak ada orang tanya macam mana kita boleh pilih sumber mineral as our course. So saya seorang yang sebelum tu saya introduce dululah kenapa saya pilih sumber mineral. Dulu saya saya sebenarnya nak pergi civil engineering. Tapi saya rasa civil engineering tu dia sangat banyak sampai saya confuse mana nak pilih. So selepas buat research, saya pilih sumber mineral sebab saya rasa dia sangat menarik sebab ada mesin besar-besar. Lepas tu dekat Malaysia ni sangat banyak quarry dan mining sebenarnya, tapi orang tak tahu. Selepas graduate from USM pada tahun 2010, saya sambung bekerja dekat OP Quarry Tangkak. So ini adalah quarry yang kecil dan dia first time ambil engineer. Semasa tu saya dapat tawaran tu daripada Job Street. Saya just apply saja. So dekat OP Quarry, saya in charge of granite production dengan premix. Lepas tu kita supply premix tu dan aggregate untuk highway, UEM ataupun propel, JKR dan double track untuk KTMB. So lepas tu 2012 saya bekerja sebagai saya pergi open interview. Masa tu ada satu kilang simen baru nak buka dekat Gopeng Perak. So saya cuba nasib dan alhamdulillah saya dapat tawaran bekerja kat sana lah pada 2012 April. Saya tak tahu langsung apa-apa pasal simen. Saya tak tahu pasal limestone. Lepas tu masa saya masuk tu Hume Cement ni dia baru cuma ada bangunan yang separa siap. So masa first time saya masuk, kuari ni masih lagi pinnacle. Limestone kan ada pinnacle, so kita tak ada pit pun. So saya masuk masa second blast. And then saya masuk masa tu ada commissioning untuk crusher. So the first equipment yang jalan masa tu adalah limestone crusher. Dekat sini kita pakai double roto hammer crusher. So saya tak pernah tengok crusher tu. And then dia punya reduction ratio is 20. Dia sangat daripada 1 meter pergi 75 mm. So masa tu saya tak tahu apa-apa pasal cement manufacturing. Saya tahu basic sahaja. So masa saya masuk tu, apparently saya punya manager kena keluar. So saya seorang. Masa hari kedua saya masuk kerja, saya dapat satu kertas, dia tulis kat situ commissioning test. Saya tak tahu apa-apa part dekat crusher, tapi saya kena sign orang tu yang cakap saya mengesahkan yang crusher ni boleh jalan. So it's a new experience for me lah masa tu. Lepas tu dalam kilang tu saya baru ada 2 orang perempuan. Satu projek dan satu lagi kuari. So from there saya dapat knowledge. Saya start from zero balik. Lepas tu sampailah sekarang saya daripada kuari engineer saya sekarang dah jadi assistant manager. So daripada hari pertama sampai sekarang saya masih buat kerja yang sama iaitu assisting quarry manager. Sebab dah 9 tahun tapi there's always a new challenge dekat cement industry ni. Sebab cement industry ni dia sangat interesting sebab dia banyak benda. Dia ada berkaitan dengan chemical, dia ada berkaitan dengan proses, dia ada berkaitan dengan geologi. So walaupun saya 9 tahun dekat Hume Cement ni, tapi sebenarnya saya masih banyak lagi belajar. Dari dulu saya punya number matrik saya masa masuk adalah 2016. Maksudnya saya orang ke-16 yang masuk tahu. Sekarang dah lebih 400 orang dekat Hume Cement ni. So kalau dari segi operation sekarang cuma ada saya seorang je yang tinggal. Dulu ada kita punya senior Pamela dekat pyro processing. Tapi dia dah pindah balik Sabah. So tinggal saya seorang sahaja. Yang lain semua lab dan juga management lah. Finance, procurement. So ini masa kita dekat USM dulu, kita ada banyak pergi visit. Masa dulu kita pergi Thailand, kita pergi Penjung. Ini tak silap saya dengan Pak Tuan ni kita dekat KSB. KSB Mining masa tu dekat Kuala Lipis. Dan paling ingat sekali kita pergi Thailand lah, naik kereta api ramai-ramai 24 jam. We enjoy a lot during our study. Okay, ini masa saya baru masuk Hume Cement. Saya masuk bulan 4. So our first clinker keluar pada 21st Julai 2012. So ini adalah tim yang pioneer dekat sana. So kita light up the kiln. Lepas semua proses dah siap, commissioning test semua, ini adalah load test untuk clinker. So kita produce clinker first time masa tu 21 Julai 2012. Masa tu first day puasa. Dan dekat bawah ni yang kita tunjuk dekat dalam paper ni, itu adalah heating process. So untuk heat kiln ni dia ada few stage. dia punya back end temperature. So setiap temperature yang lain-lain dia ada stages dia dan dia ambil masa 2 hari lah. Almost 2 days untuk completely boleh start produce clinker. So saya berada kat sana masa ada first line lagi. So pada tahun 2016 kita kita dah build up another line. This is second line. So masa ni dah ramai dah orang masa kita buat second line. Okay. Ini yang saya cakap tadi, first time saya ada dekat Hume Cement, semua Pinnacle je. And then sampai 2021, saya rasa ada dalam 16 juta tan dah kot dibawa keluar daripada pit ni. So this is how the pit looks like after a few years, after 10 years I think. So masa saya dekat Hume Cement ni saya involve sangat banyak aktiviti. Masa saya dekat U pun saya tak involve banyak macam ni. Tahu kenapa? Sebab dalam ramai-ramai cuma ada few perempuan saja. So aktiviti ni semua saya yang kena masuk. Sebab tak ramai perempuan. Hume Cement ni sebenarnya adalah bawah Hong Leong Group. So Hong Leong Group dia ada banyak sub-company, subsidiary company. So one of it is HIBC, Hume Industry Berhad and Concrete. Dan Yamaha pun di bawah Hong Leong. Jadi bila dia banyak-banyak OC ni, dia selalu buat macam sukan ke audit. So usually bila this kind of things ada, diorang akan cari perempuan dengan lelaki untuk bagi samalah gender. Tapi selalunya tak cukup. Kita punya OC tak cukup sebab dekat OC kita ramai lelaki daripada perempuan. Okay, ini masa kita audit. Lepas tu saya pernah pergi China untuk tengok apa nama tu mining, intelligence solution for mining. So dekat China dia pakai everything, dia guna GPS. Dia trace dia punya quality, dia trace dia punya truck, dia trace dia punya production, semua pakai intelligence solution. Semua operator cuma duduk dekat office sahaja managing this. And dekat China most of the operator adalah perempuan. So dia dekat sana kalau kita tengok even ada driver yang perempuan pun, driver truck yang driver truck yang besar-besar tu semua perempuan. Okay, ini adalah aktiviti masa dekat Hume Cement lah. Kita ada CSR, kita ada gotong royong. Dekat sini kita ada 5S. So saya pun one of the auditor for 5S. Okay, sekarang kita masuk kenapa perempuan join mining industry. Macam saya cakap tadi, sebenarnya perempuan ni suka masuk dekat one of the reason why wanita join mining industry adalah sebab type and a variety of work. Macam kita tertarik dengan apa yang bidang ni tawarkan. Okay, challenge as a woman in this mining industry. Sorry saya punya slide campur-campur bahasa sikit sebab blank sikit 2-3 hari ni. Peluang pekerjaan yang terhad. Sebenarnya peluang pekerjaan dekat mining industry ni sangat banyak. Cuma kita tengok dekat company yang besar-besar. Macam tak silap saya Encik Shah sebelum ni ada bagi tahu yang try to enter company yang kecil-kecil. Sebab company yang kecil-kecil ni dia ada banyak hands on knowledge yang kita boleh belajar tahu. Mostly company yang kecil-kecil ni dia tak ada satu sistem sebab dia mostly operate based on budget, duit. So masa saya first time masuk dulu OP Quarry tu, memang saya one of the first engineer. So dekat sana memang tak teratur semua. In terms of mining, in terms of quarrying, semuanya dia berdasarkan minimum requirement yang dia boleh buat. So kenapa dia ambil engineer? Sebab dia nak try up dia punya status dalam dia punya image. So sebenarnya kalau kita pandai cari peluang, kita boleh masuk dalam industri ni. Diskriminasi kerja, lack of mentorship. Okay, sebenarnya orang semua berpendapat yang perempuan ni tak boleh kerja. Itu cuma judgement orang sahaja. Sebenarnya kalau kita tengok lelaki dengan perempuan ni, dia ada different value tau. Different value yang bila kita combine together, dia akan membuatkan industri ni more holistic. Kebanyakan syarikat dia susah nak ambil perempuan sebab dia ada satu thinking yang perempuan ni dia ada ego dia. Bukan ego, macam mana nak cakap, you more to the emotional side. Dia macam tu lah. So, tapi most of company sekarang dalam masa 5 tahun, 6 tahun ni, saya tengok most of the company dah lebih percaya dengan perempuan. One of the company yang saya tengok appreciate wanita dalam industri ni adalah Valley Mineral. Kalau kita tengok Valley Mineral dekat Lumut, dia memang ambil wanita yang jaga operator untuk kilang, lepas tu ada yang bawa loader. So dari situ kita boleh tunjuk yang sebenarnya wanita dengan lelaki ni sama je in terms of knowledge . Bukan in terms of perempuan sampai bila pun dia takkan jadi lelaki. Dia tetap seorang wanita, dan dia takkan jadi macam lelaki. Tapi in terms of knowledge wanita boleh buat apa macam lelaki buat. Macam itulah. Workplace and support. Okay. Sebenarnya sangat kita kalau perempuan masuk dalam mining industry ni, kita kena bersedia mentally. Sebab bukan semua tempat hygiene tau. Ada kawasan yang tak ada toilet, lepas tu you orang kalau Muslim nak semayang. So this kind of thing kita kena be positive dan try cari solution sendiri. Masa saya start masuk Himsiman ni, dia mostly adalah Chinese punya company yang buat. So toilet dia tak ada air tau. Lepas tu ini toilet pun tak ada air. Ini kan pula surau. So kalau you orang pernah tengok yang China punya toilet yang dia dekat internet tu, memang sebiji macam tu. So saya masa tu nak kata tak selesa tu, saya kena fikirlah yang ini adalah this how my work's going to look like. So for the next few years kan, sebab masa tu masih commissioning. So I cuba cari tempat lah. So I still kerja, tapi you kena hadap benda tu hari-hari. You kena hadap benda tu hari-hari dan try cari solution for it. Insufficient career and development guidance. Sekarang most of the company dah start ambil wanita dalam dia punya company sebab dia nampak what women can give them. Jadinya kita sebagai seorang wanita harus ada inisiatif sendiri untuk belajar sebab ada orang akan fikir yang kita ni perempuan, kita takkan pergi selepas kita ada keluarga, kita akan ada priorities lain. Jadi macam mana kita nak develop kita punya career, kita kena develop ourselves dulu sebab kita tak boleh tunggu company yang develop untuk kita. Sebab most of the company memang akan berfikiran macam ni. Perempuan lepas kahwin, that's it. Dia akan ikut husband dia ke apa. Okay, next is physical ability. Macam saya cakap tadi, kita takkan jadi lelaki. Tapi kita punya knowledge, kita masih sama knowledge apa yang lelaki ada dan kita pun ada knowledge yang sama. Jadi gunakan knowledge sebagai kita punya strong trait kita. Gender equality. Sama juga. Sebenarnya dalam company memang secara, ini adalah pendapat peribadi gender equality ni memang kebanyakan company dia ada kuota untuk perempuan, berapa orang perempuan dan mostly dia akan ambil lelaki. So kenapa macam ni jadi? Dia ada different sikit kenapa benda ni jadi sebab perempuan ni dia akan berkeluarga dan dia akan mengandung. So company selalu fikir yang diorang akan kehilangan masa diorang bekerja bila kita ada maternity leave. Kita punya maternity leave 60 day. So masa tu dia kena ada orang untuk backup kan. So dia tak boleh ambil ramai sangat perempuan. Saya bagi contoh, one of my department, finance, mostly perempuan. So apa jadi, diorang take turn mengandung. So dia jadi sangat lawak tau. Setiap tahun orang tu dah macam booking dah bulan-bulan bila. So dia take turn. So katalah kalau 2 orang mengandung at the same time, nanti tak ada orang nak buat kerja. Dia akan jadi burden dekat orang lain. Next is people perception. Okay. Ini satu lagi one of the macam orang punya thinking yang kita ni kita tak boleh kita perempuan tak boleh kerja berat-berat. Perempuan tak boleh kerja lasak-lasak macam ni. Actually kalau you under management ke apa, macam saya, dia tak adalah lasak sangat. Memanglah ada panjat-panjat sana sini, tapi orang akan rasa kalau you buat macam tu, you tomboy. Saya pernah jumpa makcik-makcik dekat area, dekat kilang saya lah, dan saya pakai baju Hume Cement. Dia cakap, oh, cik ni kerja kerani ke? So bagi orang luar, dia cuma ingat perempuan ni boleh kerja sebagai kerani saja. Bila saya cakap saya kerja engineer, dia tanyalah, boleh ke dalam kilang simen tu kerja engineer? Engineer tu apa? Engineer tu bukan buka mesin, repair mesin. So kita sebagai perempuan dekat sini kita kena ubah sikitlah tanggapan masyarakat terhadap wanita yang berkerjaya. Dan yang terakhir adalah keluarga. Saya sendiri, saya kahwin pada tahun 2014. Lepas tu saya ada anak. So masa tu sebelum saya kahwin, sebelum saya ada anak, saya memang selalu balik lambat. Masa saya start kerja dekat Hume Cement ni, there's always, every day I will have many challenges dengan my crusher, my production. So I have to stay until midnight. Saya pernah tak balik satu hari. Saya pernah miss kawan saya punya wedding. Because I'm giving too much to my work. Saya balik pun selalu kan lepas pukul 7. Tapi bila saya dah berkeluarga, my priority has changed. Sebab saya balik, saya nak kena masak. Lepas tu bila ada anak, you have to think about your kid. So you have to know how to set priorities after you dah berkeluarga. So you tak boleh bagi 100% dekat your work anymore. No, I mean bukan 100% lah. 100% dulu 24 jam you boleh bagi dekat kerja. Sekarang 24 jam you have to share 12 hour dekat work and another 12 hour for your family. So that's the challenge. So now, how to overcome this challenge? Okay, nombor 1, always set your priorities. Saya sebenarnya bukan seorang yang ada plan. Okay, next you kena buat apa? Next you, nanti lagi 10 tahun saya nak jadi ini. Saya bukan orang macam tu. Saya pernah buat caliper test and I find out that's my trait. Kalau siapa yang ada chances untuk buat caliper test, you can try lah, tengok kita punya traits. Saya punya traits adalah saya bukan seorang yang I'm not a good planner. So saya just go with the flow. So tapi setiap kali saya ada challenge, setiap kali saya ada benda baru berlaku dalam hidup saya akan change the priority and I always have plan A, plan B until how many plans you ada pun at least you ada plan. Okay? Macam saya, masa saya ada anak, saya dah kurangkan sikit dekat tempat kerja. Masa saya dekat tempat kerja, saya cuma ada saya dan bos saya. Kami ada 2 orang sahaja. So can you imagine how I'm going to what we are doing dekat kilang. Kalau saya tak ada, bos saya kena cover. Kalau bos saya tak ada, saya kena cover. So kalau saya selalu tak ada, bos saya kena cover all the way. Tapi along the way kita work, kita faham satu sama lain. Kita kerja teamwork kan. So kita faham satu sama lain. Jadi dia pun faham saya dah ada anak dan saya pun faham dia ada anak. Okay. The bad side of working in cement industry is you will never have a day off. Cement industry, kilang simen ni dia 365 hari. Dan setiap 6 bulan dia akan ada major shutdown, major or minor shutdown. Tapi dia tetap lama lah. So dalam 365 hari ni memang kita kena menjawab sahaja. Kita always have to think about production, challenge, apa yang jadi hari tu. Hari-hari kita akan ada challenge yang lain-lain. Electrical ke, mechanical ke ataupun production itself. So, macam saya nak untuk quarry punya department, dia cuma work for 12 hours. Tapi quality untuk quality punya isu dia akan jadi berhari-hari. So 24 jam. Kalau tengah malam you ada challenge dengan quality, you cannot do anything. Tapi people will keep on calling you, tanya macam ni. So you have to know how to handle this. You have to know how to handle this without getting emotional. That's the main key. You cannot emotional towards whatever you decide. Whatever you decide, you cannot be emotional. Okay, know what you want to do. Okay, macam saya cakap tadi, kita kena tahu apa yang kita nak buat. Walaupun kita tak ada long term punya planning, tapi kita kena tahu apa yang kita nak buat next. So that you will not feel stress. Kita tak akan rasa macam kita tak akan rasa loss. Sebab this kind of thing akan menyebabkan you orang stress dan this one akan menyebabkan you punya decision, mengganggu you punya decision. Hands on knowledge. Okay, ini kenapa saya cakap apa knowledge yang lelaki ada, wanita pun kena ada supaya dia akan jadi balance lah kan. This can increase your value. Saya belajar daripada zero. Saya tak tahu apa benda yang saya buat masa mula-mula tu, tapi hari-hari saya belajar semua benda yang saya tak tahu pun. Mechanical part, sampai sekarang saya boleh point out apa masalah mechanical dekat saya punya line, crushing line. So this is hands on is very important sebab apa yang theoretically apa yang you buat dalam buku tulis apa, it will not suit your reality. Dia takkan suit your reality. Dia just teori yang you boleh refer. Tapi apa yang ada dekat site is apa yang you buat. So your knowledge is very important, your experience is very important. Nombor 4, enjoy your work, enjoy your life. Do not feel stress sebab in this industry macam-macam akan jadi. Kadang-kadang masalah dengan local authorities, tak dapat lesen semua apa. So this kind of thing kalau you tak manage very well, you will not enjoy your work, enjoy your life. Nombor 5, find support. My biggest support is my friend and also family lah. So saya pernah masa saya 2016, 2017 macam tu, satu malam tu crushes semua sudah stop. Operation semua dah stop kecuali main plan lah. So tiba-tiba ada orang call saya. Dia cakap, Yani, belt terbakar. Saya tak operate tapi saya punya mesin terbakar. So saya kena masuk kilang tengah malam. So my family, saya terpaksa letak anak saya dekat mak saya minta tolong jaga dan saya terpaksa masuk kilang. So sometimes bila you kerja dalam keadaan macam ni, you kena always have support. Lagi satu, your family lah memahami apa you punya kejaya. I'm lucky because my husband kerja dalam sektor yang sama. Dia mechanical lah. Sebab dia mechanical, kita pun selalu bergaduh lah pasal machinery ke apa. So, tapi dia faham saya kerja dan saya pun faham dia kerja. So, we don't have macam kata orang tu, macam dia tak puas hati saya balik lambat ke, dia tak puas hati saya kena masuk kerja tengah-tengah malam ke. So, dia very understanding. Sebab dia pun kena buat benda yang sama. Yang last sekali, be positive always. Sometimes kita rasa stress. Macam sekarang, musim COVID kan, ada benda yang kita nak tapi kita tak dapat. For example, saya dengar ramai student LI pun tak dapat tempat kan. Jadinya, kita balik kepada nombor 1 tadi. Always have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, sampai Z pun tak apa. Tapi kita tahu apa yang kita nak buat nanti. Walaupun kita fail plan B kita ada plan C untuk buat. So, untuk adik-adik yang wanita especially yang rasa macam lost ke, rasa macam tak tahu nak buat apa, banyak membaca, tengok apa yang orang lain boleh buat dan always find alternatif untuk teruskan dalam bidang ni. Never give up sebab sekarang trend untuk mining industry ni, kebanyakan company dah start percaya dengan wanita. Dia masih ada doubt tapi they are willing to take risk untuk ambil wanita sebagai orang tu, dia orang punya pekerja. Okay. Banyak habis. Saya rasa okey kot. Saya minta maaf kalau saya cakap laju sangat. This is how selalu saya ni lah. Okey ke?
Okey. Okey, terima kasih kepada Puan Extayani di atas perkongsian yang kita panggil bittersweet beliau. Okey, saya suka ya pada puan beliau yang akan different gender membawa different value lah. Diperlukan both untuk industri yang holistik. Okey, untuk maklumat semua, kepada semua penonton, yang mana ada soalan, boleh tuliskan komen. Kita akan mengadakan sesi Q&A pada akhir sesi pagi ini. Okey. Marilah kita bergerak ke agenda yang seterusnya. Okey. Untuk speaker yang kedua, marilah saya memperkenalkan sedikit sebanyak latar belakang beliau. Nama yang diberi adalah Puan Fiona Vivian Raya. Beliau merupakan alumni program kejuruteraan sumber mineral USM pada tahun 2006 hingga 2010. Sekarang beliau bekerja di Global Energy Mineral Sdn Bhd sebagai My Engineer. Tanpa melengahkan masa, let me welcoming the next speaker untuk memberikan sedikit sebanyak perkongsian berkaitan dengan topik yang sudah dimention iaitu challenging path as women in mining. Dipersilakan Puan Fiona. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you to our moderator, Cik Hazwani. Yes, maybe let me share my slide first before we start. Okay, so bear with me for a while because I'm currently at Kapit site. So it's a bit rural here. We are currently utilizing V satellite untuk our internet connection. So you may experience a little bit of lagging from my side. So bear with me. We will catch up on it. So boleh nampak ke slide sekarang?
Saya tak nampak lagi ya.
Tak nampak. Okay, let me try again.
Saya tak nampak pun.
Dia tengah loading lagi from my side, tengah connecting.
Alright.
Okay, hopefully you can see the slide sekarang. Boleh nampak ke?
Belum Puan Fiona, tak nampak lagi. Puan, dah nampak
Kalau from
slide-nya?
boleh lah.
Dah. Boleh nampak, ya.
Okay. Alright, maybe I need to close up my video lah supaya the bandwidth is not too big. Boleh nampak ya?
Ya Puan, boleh nampak.
Okay, alright. So hopefully the slide is not too lagging. So without further ado, I think let's start. Salam sejahtera and a very good morning to all our fellow audience, fellow lecturers, and ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and thank you for joining me in my session today. I was given the honor to share my experience as a woman in mining. A few to cover over the next 60 minutes. So I hope you all will stay with us throughout, as this is relatively important in promoting our gender equality in mineral resources and engineering sector. Yes, as what rakan kita sebentar tadi mention, this is not a technical topic. It's a very light topic, a woman in mining, but the impact, it is very significant to most of us, especially our fellow students these days. Not only to our fellow students, actually, it is actually happening to all the personnel currently at the industry. So let's move on to the agenda or topic that I will touch best for today. Okay, so let me kick off my session now. So of course, a little brief of introduction to myself. I'll go through what are my journey as a mining professional, dari mana bermula, and then how is the journey, and then until when it is now. Okay, company's attachment, where do I work, all these throughout the journey. What are the challenges path as women in mining industry? How to draw women's career path in our mineral resources industry, and engineering gender diversity, how women supporting women in our industry. Okay, and then last but not least will be a little bit of photo sharing to share with all of you, to our fellow students, to our fellow friends, okay, on the industry. Okay, a brief introduction, slightly intro about myself by the name Fiona Vivian Raya. You can just call me Fiona. So I'm from Kuching, Sarawak. I'm married. So maybe let me share a few words about Sarawak for those who may not know very much about us. So we are the largest state in Malaysia and are located on the northwest of Borneo, which we share with Indonesia, Kalimantan, border of Brunei, dan juga Sabah. Okay, Sarawak punya aspiration is to achieve high income status by 2030 through a mixture of strategies, including hydropower development via SCORE. SCORE is a Sarawak corridor of renewable energy. Okay, we aim to be the renewable energy powerhouse of Southeast Asia by sharing our hydropower knowledge and resources. Of course, this is possible because if you look at our location, given our position, as you can see, we are fairly central in the Asia Pacific region, and also our coastline di Laut Cina Selatan. Okay, moving on to the next slide. The next point, I'm alumni for batch 2006 to 2010 from Mineral Resources Engineering. Same batch with our previous speaker, Encik Arif, Encik Aizat, Encik Wong, and then also Puan Extayani. Okay, if you can see there, some of our photos during our study time. Okay, remember one tips of an advice, dear fellow student, please enjoy your study life at the fullest, at the max. Nothing beats university life. Even until today, when you ask me, I still miss my university life, my university friends, lecturers. It's a little bit very small over there, but you can see we have Professor Madya, Dr. Said over there. We have Professor Madya, Dr. Hashim over there when we have had our visit to Thailand. So Education Interaction Malaysia, Thailand. This is a collaboration with Chulalongkorn University, okay, in Thailand. Okay, so because why once you start work, it's a different life chapter already. Sure, so you can have a look at us, the younger face, the fresh face. If you are saying that you guys or have the doubts in contributing to the industry, don't be, because your lecturer is the same as my lecturer. is the same as all of our lecturer. So as what I think Mr. Prakash or I can't remember which speaker mentioned about yesterday, we are the living testimony for you guys. So what we can achieve, you guys, all of you guys can achieve it too. Okay, so now I'm currently working with Sarawak Energy Berhad under the division of Global Energy Mineral, Sdn Berhad, GEM division. So what GEM is doing, GEM manages coal mining operation and delivery from Nangamarit coal mine all the way to Sejingkat power plant. That is one of our power station, one of many. So I will show you a few pictures of the power plant that we are delivering to. Okay, registered as graduate engineer under Board of Engineering Malaysia. Registered as corporate member under IQM. Registered as statutory mine manager under JMG of Sarawak. Okay, a little bit of a sneak peek introduction about Sarawak Energy Berhad. So if I were to compare, it is actually almost similar like the Naga National Berhad in Peninsula, TNB, or maybe like SESB in Sabah. So SEB is a vertically integrated power utility and energy development company with a vision, okay, to achieve sustainable growth and prosperity for Sarawak. Okay, how? By meeting the region's need for reliable, renewable, and affordable energy. Of course, as I shared with you, all of you, Sarawak Energy multidisciplinary workforce, we have over 5,000 plus workforce that serves to close to more than 700,000 of domestic, commercial, industrial, bulk, and also export customers. Okay, at Sarawak Energy, we generate, we transmit, distribute, and retail electricity. So that's why it's called Sarawak Energy. Okay, we distribute, we generate electricity. We generate power through hydroelectric plant, coal, and also gas. Why? Because we capitalize on Sarawak abundant indigenous resources. So currently, we are also actually exploring other energy sources, including solar, hydrogen. So in SEB, balance generation mix is reinforced. Of course, it is predominantly renewable hydropower. Sarawak Energy, we also capitalize Sarawak abundant and indigenous gas and coal resources, as I have shared with you guys. Why? For the security of electricity supply. So a few photos showing Sarawak Energy on hydro dams. So you can see there, Batang Air Dam, Bakun Dam, and then Murum Dam. Okay, currently we are still under construction, Baleh Dam. Okay, expected commissioning date will be by 2026. Okay, these are the power plants. So Sejingkat Power Station, as I have mentioned just now, GEM is delivering coal to Sejingkat Power Station. Other than SPC, we call it Sejingkat Power Station, we also have Muka Power Station and Balingan Power Station. Okay, these are the gas area. Bintulu gas-fired power plant and also Tanjung Kidurong combined cycle power plant. Okay, let's move on my journey as a mining professional. So the exposure started during my third year, a latihan industry attachment at Penjong Gold Mine. So undergone 10 weeks of latihan industry at Penjong Gold Mine exposed me and benefited me at my best throughout my career development as a mining engineer. Okay, yes, although we have heard that the fellow students this year, the third year students, do not have that opportunity to be attached to any company for the latihan industry. But then again, as what our previous speaker have mentioned, do not give up and do not feel bad. Okay, look at things in positively. Although for now, you are not be able or do not have the opportunity to be attached to any LI company, but at least you have this opportunity where we gather some of the industrial experts, listen to their sharing, listen to their technical experience. So these are a positive thing to see. So look at things differently, have a different perspective, always have a positive mindset. Okay, and moving forward, next I was attached to Penjom Gold Mine. Okay, graduated in 2010. Right after Viva, I was offered by my previous boss in Penjom. So I worked with Penjom until 2012. So in Penjom Gold Mine, I was exposed in a lot of technical experience. Was given the role of as mine planning engineer in Penjom, doing a lot of more on short-term planning. Okay, for the first year, first few months, first year, more on the short-term planning. So the software that we are dealing with are like SERPEC. So being in the industry for as a graduate engineer, it really opened up the eyes. Yes, 10 weeks under latihan industry, it did give a lot of experience, but it's not enough. So we use that, we polish ourselves better so that we can actually apply it when we start our work journey. So in Penjom Gold Mine, taking the role and responsibility as a mine plan engineer, we work very closely with the mine production engineers to ensure that any of our plans is executable, to ensure that the plan and then to ensure that operation is being run effectively and productively. Of course, you will have to check on the productivity, work together with your production engineer, work together very closely with your geologists, with your fellow metallurgists to ensure that what you mine on the ground meets the target, meets the quality. So those are the requirements. Okay, moving on from Penjom Gold Mine, there is another opportunity comes in. Okay, Penjom Gold Mine, as we all know, is an active mine. Okay, where else Bauk Gold Mine is at feasibility stage. Okay, there is no active operating mining in Bauk. So when I received the call, go through the interview process as usual. So we will have to start with interview process, and then it seems that I fit the requirement. So of course, during that time, I do have difficulties in whether do I want to stay in Penjom or do I want to move on to Bauk Gold Mine, because Penjom have a sweet spot in our heart. If you can ask any LI student, any ex-Penjom staff, we do have the sweet spot of Penjom in our heart. But then, as I said, do I want to be complacent, sit in Penjom, and then just continue on with the operation? Then I challenge myself, okay, this is a new thing. I'm going to learn new thing, how to start to build a mine, how to start with feasibility, okay, what are the requirement documents that we need to submit, from what authority, what license we will need. So I just made up my mind, joined Bauk Gold Mine, and everything is history. So in Bauk Gold Mine, we have a few mentors that really enhance my planning work. Okay, I was involved in the long-term planning work, feasibility study, cost analysis study, economic analysis. So that is when you will think, oh, this is what I learned back in university. And during that time, I was like, oh, I should have put more effort during my uni life, because that is all you will need to bring during your work. But of course, when in your working experience, you will have to enhance more, polish more. But then don't be afraid. You have mentors. You have your management. You have your technical management team to support you. Okay, fast forward, I was with Bau Gold Mine from 2012 until 2014. Okay, and then I joined retail business. Okay, at that time, yes, it's a very split decision as well. Why do I join retail business? Because I want to expose myself in a business world. Okay, so fair enough, from the retail business, I learned how to do marketing. I learned how to negotiate. I learned how to convince your purchaser, your buyer. So in talking with strangers, in convincing them, saying that, okay, why you need all of this? Why do you have to take these products and etc. So again, a retail business is about supply and demand. Relate back to our industry is also about supply and demand. If you want to sell any like gold, tin, you will have to have a customers to buy. Or if you need to sell out like clay, all the other minerals like sand, silica sand, you will need to have customers. Okay, so that built, polish very well, improve my soft skill. And then in 2017, I feel the itch. Okay, I think this is the time. The retail business, the business exposure is enough. Cukup, boleh. So let's go back to engineering. Let's go back to mining. So I think those who know me will know I have a very, very deep passion in mining. Okay, so fast forward, attached to Rahman Hydraulic team, Sdn Berhad, working closely with our super senior, our legend senior, Encik Haryanto, and then the rest of the team. One of our batch, a few of our batch was also there, Encik Azmizan, Encik Muhammad Nik Jafar, okay, and then the rest of the team. Okay, but of course, I have a very short, sweet, and compact experience in Rahman Hydraulic. So then I move on to where I am now. I started to work with under GM Coal Operation, SEB, since 2017. Okay, until to that. So now let's move on to our main highlights. Okay, how do we as female engineers tackle the male-dominated industry? Okay, we see, why do we still see mineral resources engineering as a male-dominated image? What are the critical challenges? How do we deal with it? And then, like what Puan Extayani touched just now, female with family, what are our challenges in mining industry? Okay, of course, if we were to name the challenges, there are a lot. Gender discrimination is one of it. Work-life balance, sexual harassment, representation of women, sangat kurang. Okay, the amount of female mineral resources engineering in our industry is still very few. Gender pay gap may or may not happen in certain company. Race and ethnicity, to be fair, to be honest, yes, I myself face this. Okay, race and ethnicity gap. Pregnancy discrimination will always that time of the month. So some studies, if you read, yes, they found that women are intimidated by being among a very small minority group. So how do we tackle all of these critical challenges? We change our perception. The perception where engineering negates women. Okay, stop believing that women engineers, we are not being treated fairly. Change that mindset. Okay, if you do not have the facility, let's build the facility. A fundamental way to deal with all of this is to challenge yourself. Make adjustment to that new environment. Make adjustment to the new condition. The key word is adapt. Okay, adaptation. So always remember, you will always encounter new things in life. When you first move into USM, suasana baru, like myself, state baru, okay, your new room, your new roommates, new lecturers, new study room, everything is new. So take that as your life experience. Then how did you adapt to it, adapt to the new environment? So remember, we cannot control others' behavior, but we can control ours. Okay, I would want to touch a little bit on female with family challenges in our mining industry. Yes, touching a little bit on gender, engineering gender diversity. Speak for your right, okay? If it is needed to have, for example, any facility within the mining infra, a place where it can allow us as women to return to work after starting a family, speak about it, work together with the management to overcome the challenges. Okay, remember, management cannot read our minds. Okay, of course, when we talk about women with family encouragement is very, very crucial. I still remember back in few months, we were doing 5S activity. So 5S activity is very common in nowadays companies. Okay, then they asked, one of the question was being asked, why your toilet do not have the male and female sign? Then I was like, okay, looking into our statistic, female workers can count, especially here in Merit Pilar coal mine. We are at a bit rural area, remote area. So female workers or female staffs can be actually count by fingers. It's actually only, if I recall, 1, 2, 3, three of us only on top of 200 plus of workers. Myself, my geologist, and then one is our admin, auntie cleaner. So of course, when we talk about sexism in workplace, there is. But then how you bring yourself, how you profile yourself. So do know that actually men have these challenges too. It's not only us women. Men can also have had bad bosses. Men can have also lack of opportunity, get harassed at work. Men can also be underestimated and belittled at their job. So what I would want to share is leverage on your gender. Okay, leverage it. Do not take it as a weak point. Okay, like what Puan Extayani mentioned just now, you tak boleh nak change. You are already a woman. You tak boleh tukar kepada seorang lelaki. So you leverage it, use it at the best. Okay, work side by side along with the men to overcome all of these challenges. Leverage your gender. So how do we deal with the challenges? Conflict will have tremendously positive or negative impact. Okay, so moving on to the next point. How do we draw women's career path in mineral resources industry? Can we have to convince that there is a place for women in mineral resources engineering industry. Okay, so whom to lead? What are the scope of work? What are our technical challenges? What are our preferences? Okay, so we draw our own path. If especially if like what I have shared, it's only a few of us women in this industry. If we always have that mindset, always have that perception, if you don't change, it will always be the same. Down the road, 10 years, down the road, 20 years or 30 years to come. So who needs to start to change? Us, the younger generation. You guys, the fellow students, you have to change. You have to draw the path, okay? Be involved and be creative. Yes, if you do not have the chance to go for latihan industry, sit with your lecturers, okay? Sit with your Urus Setia academic. How can we actually slot in all of this latihan industry attachment while we have all of this study schedule? Work together with them, give suggestion, because all of these are soft skills that you can actually apply in your workplace. Okay, and then most importantly is you have to find your mentor. and they will definitely lead you through your experience. Your mentor can be your lecturer, your mentor can be your seniors, and then anybody that you find that you can learn more from them. Okay, and then accept constructive criticism. Do not be emotional. Okay, open up on comments, on ideas, knowledge, experience, build network, build connection. So when I was in retail business, that is where I built a lot of connection. It really helps you a lot. Okay, identify what are the technical challenges that you have, because the scope of work that you will be dealing during your work will be planning work, designing work. This is under, of course, I touch very much on mining operation and quarry operation based on my own expertise. Okay, planning work, design work, operation work, and then what else? There are a lot of scope that you can cover, like what Prof. Madhya Dr. Said have shared with us. This is a very vast industry. You can go mining, you can go into quarrying, you can go into safety or towards the downstream environment. Okay, so, and then what are the preferences? You can go into private sector, you can go into government sector. You have a lot of living testimony. Check with the seniors, check with the industrial experts, then you do your comparison. One thing that I learned when I was actually blur in doing my decision, do SWOT analysis. That helps you a lot. That really helps. So always develop your skill set to manage all of this professional transition. Okay, how manage it with variety of tools? We have a lot of tools. We have a lot of best practice. From my experience as a mining engineer, I was dealing with, especially on designing work, on scheduling work, I was dealing with SERPEC, data mine in Bau for all of this designing and also scheduling work. And then in Rahman also data mine, and then move to GEM. Currently we are using Deswik for mining design, and also a Spry scheduler for our scheduling. Okay, so all of this is actually building your expertise within yourself. So if you still have technical challenges, for example, there is not much of exposure during uni life, attend courses, attend trainings, talk to the lecturers, how we can actually deal with that challenges. Conference, seminars, there are a lot. Go into LinkedIn, you will have a lot of choices. So of course, as a female personnel itself, utilize your emotional intelligence to inspire your performance. Okay, and that's why EQ is very important for you to build your success in your workplace. Okay, let's move on to the next slide on engineering gender diversity. Women supporting women, as you can see at the photos there, they all look pretty, doesn't it? But know that they are the geos, they are the engineers. Okay, this is our geos, our safety personnel, our geos as well. Okay, these are all industry people, those who work on the ground, taking up tools, work at the if you want to call it dirty mud floor, so be it. That's how you portray the working area. But then be proud of your industry, be proud of your cause. Not a lot of people is actually given this leverage to be involved. I know some of the famous question being asked previously. I still remember during my first year course, we were actually having this talk from IR Shukri, and then he was a very he can be one of your mentor too. He is very experienced. I have a very close communication once in a while with him. Okay, he did actually ask this one question: whom among you students actually really choose this course as your first choice? Let me just share you a little bit about myself. If you ask me, what choice is this course to me? First choice, no. Second choice, no. Third choice, no. Then how I see it, I am gifted to be given this course. Okay? Passion can be built along your study, along your working journey. Don't tell us that this course is not your preferred choice. You have no choice. Sorry. Once you are in this course, leverage it. You are unique. Okay, do your best in it, because if you say there are a very few role model in our industry, no, there are a lot more. Not only from our speakers, but there are a lot more. I can share few names with all of you, of course, in a separate session, I would say. Okay, the role of mentor, of course, is very important, very crucial, not only for female engineers, but also for male engineers, male students. Okay, so yes, look for mentor for you to pursue mineral resources engineering career. So approach them. Okay, as a female manager myself, I aim to accomplish goals through transforming my teams into a better people, better team player. Okay. So stop the disease to please. Draw your line, saying no professionally and confidently. Okay, prove your ability. So like what Encik Muhammad Arif mentioned previously, before you work, before you move on to your career journey, excel in your exam, do well in your exam, especially third year and fourth year student. That is very important to actually guide you to the industry. Okay, do well in your studies. Okay, you have lecturers to help you to go through that learning journeys. You see, we have a very good lecturers, like what I have shared with you guys. Your lecturers is also my lecturers. We have Prof. Madhya, Dr. Said. We have Prof. Madhya, Dr. Hashim. We have Prof. Madhya, Dr. Kama. Prof. Madhya, Dr. Yani. We have Dr. Nolia. We have Dr. Zach, Dr. Zakaria. Dr. Zakaria was actually one of our colleagues when I was in Penjong. We have Dr. Ashra. So all of this supporting system is very, very strong in developing all of you guys. Okay, they encourage our development. They provide high quality of teaching and learning experience for the students, for us. Okay, so build your competency, and of course earn the respect. Only through your competency you can earn your respect. There is no point that you can talk loud, too confident, so do not be too overconfident, but you can't show it, you can't portray it. So technical knowledge is very, very important. Okay, there are many more successful stories about female leaders within mineral resources engineering industry. To name a few, we have Madam Elvina, a quarry manager with Hapseng Papar, 15 years of mining and quarrying experience. My other mentor currently is a department planning with Penjong, also have 15 years of mining experience. Madam Chin Chen Yin, one of it, operation manager, a very close friend to me. My ex-housemate when I was in Penjong, is an operation manager in Puchong Quarry, having 12 years of mining and quarrying experience. Okay, we have Madam Extayani just now, my very close friend, one of my bridesmaids, very, very close friend, BFF. Assistant manager in Hume Quarry, 10 years of mining and quarrying experience. Okay, we have Madam Noor Asma, quarry manager with Hanson, also 15 years of quarrying experience. More to come, we have Madam Atika at Johor, we have Madam Siti Mariam, Madam Sulaika, Madam Noor Mastura. There are a lot more actually. So not only the female mentor, okay, you can also have a lot more of fellow mentor out there. As for myself, I do have Mr. Stuart Tracy from Penjom. I do have Mr. Nathan Achuk that I know from Penjom, Mr. Charles Molujin that I know from Bau, Mr. Graham Filton, my ex-GM at Bau. So these are the people actually who built me, who helped in helping my career growth, I would say. So what I have achieved today, it's not me alone. I have my lecturers, I have my supportive system. So if I think our very first speaker have shared with us, supportive system is very, very important. So do not take gender as your gap. Okay, like I have shared, leverage that gap. Okay, so for the next slide, I just want to share with all of you, okay, a few photos of myself in the industry throughout my journey. So as you can see here, we were actually on the ground doing ore markup at Penjom Gold Mine. Okay, this is Madam Chin Chen Yin. This is our close friends when I was in Penjom. I was meeting at Penjom Gold Mine. Myself, my very close geologist friend, Miss Catherine, Madam Chin over here, Puan Amni over here. So 1, 2, 3, we are all graduated from USM, Mineral Resources Engineering alumni. Okay, the rest of the photos, as you can see, site inspection at our coal operation. Okay, startup meeting at Rahman Hydraulic Team with my fellow friends in coal operation. Okay, during our coal operation site inspection also at Penjom at GM coal operation. This is during our JMG visit. It was during, I think, 2 years back when we have not hit by the pandemic outbreak yet. Okay, it is very small actually, but if you can see here, it's our super senior, Tuan Haji Nurul Huda. Yes, we were actually working together when he was attached in JMG Sarawak. Okay, culvert instruction. This culvert have the diameter of 6 meters. So when you are in the industry, you can see a lot of this. These are all experience built up. Excuse me. Okay, and then these are my Baut team. When we were doing feasibility project in Baut Gold Mine, okay, we have our metallurgist expert, my mentor over there, Mr. Graham Filton, our geologist friend, our planning manager, and then the rest of the team. So part of it, not only oversee mining operation, we also oversee mining infrastructure, repair work. We have bridges, we have crushing plant, we have barging line. One unique about our operation, our coal operation, we deliver our coal via Sungai Rajang, via barging activity. So those are the new experience that I built outside from the other workplace. Okay, dumper truck. We are using Komatsu HD465 as our dumper truck at site. Okay, and then site inspection at coal operation. This is our previous dumper truck, Hitachi, where we changed to Komatsu eventually. Okay, yes, and then few of site photos that I want to share with all of you. On your left-hand side is our majestic Penjom Gold Mine. Okay, on our right-hand side is my current coal mine, GM coal mine operation. So I think, yes, I end my sharing with all of you. I hope it can benefit all of our fellow friends, our fellow students throughout this sharing. Okay, thank you. I hand over to you, Ms. Hazwani, our moderator. Terima kasih.
Okey. Um, Terima kasih kepada Puan Fiona di atas perkongsian yang luar biasa, yang sangat menarik dan kata-kata semangat ya. Ada saya tertarik dengan kata-kata beliau di permulaan percakapan. Katanya super senior kita ni ibaratkan life testimony. Apa yang kita punya super senior achieve, kita pun boleh achieve lah dengan syarat kita letak effort. Ya? Bentar ya.
Ya, betul, betul Hazwani. So, apa yang semua senior boleh achieve, you all can achieve too. Yes, there are no differences, there are no gap. Even these days, technologies are more improving. So you will have to broaden your knowledge, okay, build your skill set. Yes, believe in yourself. Because if you think you can't do it, look at all your examples, your living testimony. If they can do it, if we can do it, all of you guys can do it even better eventually, because you guys are still so young. So yes, believe in yourself, have a positive mindset. Itu yang paling penting, paling utama.
Jangan jadikan perkataan wanita tu sebagai something yang lemah. Jangan jadikan sebab perempuan jadi dia lemah. Bukan. Kita cuba untuk jadi
Betul.
cuba untuk jadi apa cakap jadi perkataan wanita sepatutnya bagi kita semangat lagi untuk motivasi lagi untuk kita lagi better in the future.
Okay, baik. Terima kasih kepada Puan Fiona dan Pak Extayani. Kami minta maaf bagi pihak moderator, dia mempunyai masalah line. Okay, saya bacakan, kita teruskan dengan kita komen daripada Facebook Live kita untuk Puan Extayani dan Puan Fiona. Soalan pertama daripada Facebook Live. Puan Extayani, have you experienced such situation of discrimination gender issue throughout your working life, probably handling men subordinates? How do you handle it? Have you sometimes feel threatened? Thank you.
Actually awal-awal dulu ya kot sebab nombor satu orang tak percaya, yang tu je. Orang tak percaya sebab saya bukan dalam most of orang yang dalam cement industry ni dia adalah cement dari cement plant yang lain. So bila kita ni tak berapa nak familiar dengan cement industry, dia macam tak percaya dengan kita. Saya pernah kena panggil bodoh tau. Tapi of course lah saya lawan balik sebab women always right kan? No, bukan. Sebab kita tahu apa yang kita buat. So tapi along the way kita dah belajar, lama-lama kita akan work together dengan diorang. So diorang pun akan faham dengan kita dan diorang pun akan respect dengan kita. Sebenarnya kita lama-lama dia orang tak akan pandang kita sebagai perempuan pun. Dia akan pandang kita sebagai rakan sekerja. Dan saya punya teams pun, saya punya teammates pun semua lelaki. So diorang respect saya sebagai seorang leader sahaja. Bukan sebagai seorang bukan sebagai, diorang tak pandang saya sebagai perempuan lah. Awal-awal mungkin sebab diorang tak percaya, tapi lepas kita show our leadership, our professionalism, lepas tu benda-benda macam gender ni dia dah tak nampak. Sebab macam tak silap saya Ali pada cakap nanti, laki dengan perempuan actually sama je. Dua-dua ego dan dua-dua ada emotionally akan involve bila you dalam this kind of industry. Sebab yang paling penting dalam this industry, dia ada satu terms yang kita tak akan dapat elak, iaitu politik kerja. So politik kerja ni politik kerja yang selalunya akan menyebabkan kita didiskriminasi macam tu. So sebenarnya taklah, kita as long as we can handle it, there's no problem.
Okay, terima kasih. Okey, lagi satu soalan. Maaf saya tanya Puan Yani, dalam bidang yang lasak macam ni, adakah Puan pernah berhadapan dengan sexual harassment di tempat kerja? Dan jika ada, macam mana Puan hadapinya?
Okay, sexual harassment ni dia ada macam-macam. Percakapan, perbuatan. Dari segi perbuatan tu tak ada lah, tapi dari segi percakapan tu ada. Even my close friend lah, my close dari department lain tapi kita kawan, dia punya mulut ni tak berapa nak baik, tak berapa nak bagus. Macam saya dengan dia, saya firm je dengan dia. Saya buat muka tak suka saja. We still friend, tapi dia kena faham lah, benda ni profesional kan. Dan sexual harassment ni dia ada akta dia sendiri. So ada whistleblower akan boleh report. Kita boleh report. We always can report to the management. Dan sebab mulut je, kawan saya pun kena tendang keluar lah. Macam mana saya handle orang macam ni? Kita kena bagi dia orang respect kita lah. Sebab sexual harassment ni bukan dekat perempuan je, dekat lelaki pun akan kena. So one of the things yang kita boleh buat adalah ajar dia orang untuk respect individual. Bukannya woman saja tapi lelaki pun sama. So itulah, yang tu je lah yang kita boleh buat. Tapi kebanyakan orang sekarang pun mostly memang faham benda ni. Semua orang dah dia faham benda ni profesional. So dah tak ada lagi dah sexual harassment macam dulu-dulu kan. Even orang pandang kita pun orang cakap sexual harassment macam tu. So sekarang dah tak ada. So kita yang handle pun kena profesional. Kalau kita tak suka, kita cakap kita tak suka. Then kalau dia tak faham juga, then you have to bring this to management.
Okay. Itulah paling penting, kita kena jaga emosi kita lah. Okay. Puan Fiona, how do you cater for the issue of the impact of hydropower dams on the surrounding environment?
Oh, okay. Of course, that is not my expertise to explain more in detail about hydro dams. But of course, what I can share with all of you, if you guys are interested to know more about what Sarawak Energy is doing, we can arrange a session. Then I can bring the proper experts to come and share with all of you. Of course, my expertise is in mining operation. To know more about hydro dams, let's keep in touch and then I will share. But at the end of the day, if you want to know about the adverse impact, sama macam mining operation also, we will have a team. Back in our corporate office, we have EIA team to tackle all of this bad impact to the environment. So sama juga kita memang ada all of this that supportive team, and then all of that because at the end of the day what do we want to achieve is environmental compliance. Itu saja yang paling penting. So yes, I hope menjawab soalannya. Then by saying that we open another session actually. If you guys want to know more, we can arrange with the expertise. No issue about that.
Okay, thank you Fiona. Okay, another question. Fiona, how do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years time as a career woman that just juggling with family matters? Have you experienced to give up, turning down the career and just focus on family? What motivates you to overcome that kind of feeling? Thank you.
Oh, that question. It's a very, very unique question. If you ask me, honestly speaking, because this is the session where we want to be very honest to you guys. Okay, we open up everything, especially for us female engineers, female leaders. If you ask me, of course, when we go through all the stress, the tension, I would want to say, okay, that's it, enough, no more engineering career. But like what other friends have mentioned, please keep that emotional value in yourself. Do not show. Jangan tunjuk. Jangan sesekali tunjuk. If you are tired, if you are stressed, of course, one thing for sure, our industry, mineral resources industry, may it be mining, may it be quarrying, may it be private sector ataupun government sector, you have different stress level. Actually, any companies do have different stress level. So it's up to you, how do you handle that stress actually. So at the end of the day, if I feel stressed, I just pergi duduk mana, find some friends, we have chit chat, we have barbecue, look for all friends, don't think about work too much. Okay, like I like quoted by Puan Extayani just now, jangan fikir terlalu banyak pasal kerja. That is not forever about you. You have to enjoy. Then fresh start, fresh mind, go back to your work and you will actually contribute even better. So by saying that, stress tak stress, kerja tak kerja, 10 years dah berlalu. If you ask me how do I see myself 10 years, 20 years coming, I will still want to continue to contribute my knowledge. Because I do not only contribute, I want to learn more. Get 10 years of experience in this industry, tak cukup. Banyak lagi kena belajar. So learning is never an ending process. Continuous until you tua, continuous. So that is what I can share with you. Thank you.
Saja nak cakap something lah. Kebaikannya kerja dekat industri ni, macam saya kerja kat quarry, Fiona dia kerja dekat coal. Kalau you orang stres sangat, you tak boleh balik rumah dengan keadaan yang stres macam tu. But selalu apa yang saya punya terapi lah, saya akan pergi dekat kawasan quarry saya sangat besar tau, 500 ekar. So what will I do? I will go to this one place yang tak ada orang, tak ada orang akan ganggu you, tak ada line telefon pun. Saya duduk sana lama-lama, saya just refresh your mind. Macam just you not being alone. Yeah, it's very stressful world. Memang stress. Memang orang cakap, walaupun kami nampak macam ni happy-happy, tapi sebenarnya dalam otak macam-macam jalan. Kadang-kadang saya tidur pun saya mimpi pasal saya punya machinery tau. Saya tidur, saya mimpi pasal saya punya machinery. Tapi at one time you kena ada satu, your very important thing is your work-life balance. Walau macam mana pun, saya tengah masak, saya boleh jawab telefon tau, arrange untuk apa kerja malam ni, apa ada kerja. Saya boleh buat benda tu, saya sambil anak saya pegang kaki. So how do you deal with this kind of environment? Be prepared that what will you apa akan you orang expect in this industry. Dia bukan susah, tapi just manage it well, very well. Stress, mana-mana kerja pun akan benda-benda macam ni. So kadang-kadang you benci sangat orang tu, you tak nak jumpa orang tu dekat dekat office. You tak nak jumpa. Tapi that's a part of your life. Dekat mana you pergi pun kata you rasa hari ni aku rasa nak berhenti sangat kerja sebab aku benci tengok orang ni. Macam mana you fikir macam tu pun dekat tempat lain pun masih ada orang yang sama. Masih ada orang yang sama macam tu. So that's what keep us going. Sentiasa. Kami tak pernah ada macam 5 tahun lagi saya nak jadi macam ni, 10 tahun lagi saya nak jadi macam ni. Tak, macam saya cakap tadi kita kena ada plan. Tapi kalau plan tu fail, you ada backup plan. So sentiasa ada plan untuk setiap apa yang you nak buat lagi 10 tahun. Sebab saya pun saya tak tahu apa akan jadi lagi 5-10 tahun. Tapi saya ada family, saya ada kerja, saya ada knowledge. So keep on learning. That's the important thing dalam kita punya industri.
Okay, thank you Puan Fiona, Puan Yani. Perkongsian yang sangat baik, bukan saja untuk kami student, tapi sebagai my manager di Kuari dan juga sebagai seorang isteri, seorang wanita, perkongsian tu sangatlah bermanfaat untuk kami semua. Okay, seterusnya ni soalan daripada student. Puan Extayani, can you share how we as a woman with title fresh grad to fight this job scope with other men fresh grad? As we know, some company in Malaysia need a manpower to work with them because of the cabaran and lasak. So what's opinion as a fresh grad?
Sana sikit. Okay. Okay, selalu orang nak perempuan ni lasak tau. Macam saya cakap sebelum ni, kita mesti perempuan, kita tak akan jadi lelaki. Saya interview pun, masa dulu-dulu saya interview orang akan cakap dekat saya lah. Saya ambil awak kerja sebab saya tengok cara awak berjalan. Dia cakap saya macam tu tau, sebab saya tengok cara awak berjalan. Saya tak tahu macam mana cara saya berjalan. Tapi mungkin kalau cara saya berjalan tu nampak yakin tau. Nampak yakin. So orang pun yakin nak ambil kita. Dari segi tadi apa? Apa tadi cakap? Apa soalan tu tadi balik? Dia ada satu perkataan tu. Lasak. Okey, lasak. Okey, lasak. Saya nak bagi tahu yang saya during my first pregnancy, lasak tu memang benda biasa tau, nak panjat-panjat. During my first pregnancy, I didn't tell my manager yang saya pregnant up until 8 months. Sebab saya kurus, so saya tak nampak sangat pregnant. Saya je nampak gemuk, yang tu je. So bos saya masa tu dah 8 bulan saya bagi tahu. Saya kan tadi cakap saya dengan bos saya saja 2 orang, so saya bagi tahu dengan bos next month saya akan cuti. So can you take over everything? Lepas tu dia cakap, you cuti apa? Kalau setakat 2-3 hari, kenapa saya nak kena take over you tugas? Lepas tu saya bagi tahu dia, sebab saya pregnant, saya nak beranak next month. Lepas tu dia pun macam jam sekejap. Dia cakap, bila you pregnant? Kenapa you tak bagi tahu saya? Kenapa you masih ambil sampel, masih panjat sana sini? I cakap, as long as I can do this, without macam mempertaruhkan nyawa saya okay je. Sebab bagi saya benda tu biasa je. Tapi janganlah, jangan ambil benda ni sebagai saya boleh buat, orang Kak Yani boleh buat, orang lain pun boleh buat. Bukan. Dia bergantung kepada individu punya ability. So macam saya memang macam ni. Saya memang seorang yang lasak. Tapi saya punya lasak, saya tak adalah pergi hiking ke apa. Saya memang dilahirkan, saya memang budak kampung yang memang pergi bendang semua apa tu. So saya memang lasak. Dari kecil saya memang lasak. Jadi saya dibesarkan dalam keadaan yang lasak. Jadinya kalau saya rasa orang tak payah tukar lah orang punya sendiri untuk jadi lasak. Saya takut nanti jadi accident ke apa. Tapi just show you to them yang orang boleh take up the challenge. That's the most important thing. You boleh take up the challenge. Jangan pula cakap lagi korang pregnant pergi kuari panjat-panjat sana sini. Bukan, jangan buat macam tu. Sebab sebab saya pun salah. Saya buat macam tu. Saya pun tak, sebab saya rasa macam masa tu kerja lagi important daripada diri sendiri. Sebab saya okey, masa tu saya okey. So lepas tu my second pregnancy pun saya ada bleeding. So saya cuti 4 hari itu semua orang tahu saya pregnant lah. Yang before tu memang tak ada orang tahu. Orang yang tahu saya je tahu, orang yang tak tahu tu memang dia tak tahu saya sampai saya deliver. So nak kata lasak tu um, you punya physical ability lah. You kena you sendiri kena fit. Kena fit. Tak semestinya you orang pergi hiking ke selalu, tapi fit. Fit untuk kerja. Kalau baru panjat sikit dah semput, biar. Sebab kalau betul-betul kerja dekat macam kilang simen ni, sebab kita pun jaga crusher, kita pun jaga equipment. So saya selalu jugalah panjat-panjat tu. So kalau orang nak panggil lasak tu, benda ni very common tau dekat tempat ni. So lelaki pun buat benda yang sama, perempuan pun buat benda yang sama. So nak kata lasak tu memang part of our job. So dia bukan lasak lah untuk panjat tu. Sini very common lah. Itulah.
Okay, thank you Payani. Lain orang, lain physical abilities dia kan.
Ya, betul.
Okay, Puan Fiona, ni daripada student, would it be possible for fresh graduate from the peninsula apply for a job in Sarawak? And also as a mining engineer, what do you expect skill that you're looking forward in candidates of mining engineer?
Jangan. Dah.
Okay,
Duduk sana.
saya go to the first question lah. Of course, boleh, anytime. Likewise, myself as a Sarawakian, any Sabahan can always travel to Peninsula untuk kerja. So likewise, of course, those in Peninsula can always share your CV, your profile to any company. We have, yes, kita ada coal mine operation dekat Sarawak. Kita ada juga Tawau Gold Mine dekat Sabah. So one of our mentor, Encik Syarul, our super senior, is actually still there dekat Tawau Gold Mine. So you have a lot of choices actually. Kalau nak to come for visit saja, of course ada SOP yang diperlukan. We can arrange because this is part of our responsibility, our contribution sebagai industri kepada rakan-rakan USM and then all our students. Yes, that can be arranged, boleh. Either you come for visit or you want to explore if there is any job opportunity. Yes, we can stay in touch. Anything is possible. Just keep up the positive mindset itu sahaja. But of course, what we would want to touch base is that, of course, be aware that our industry is tough. Industri kita ni memang tough, yes. And no matter which sector that you involve in. So embrace yourself, ride the wheel. Okay, like what have been mentioned, you tak boleh tukar your gender. You tak boleh nak tukar your physical body nak jadi tough ke apa. So accept it is, but embrace yourself. Okay, and then second question tadi apa? Tak berapa clear.
What do you expect from what expectation skill that you're looking forward?
From students, is it? Or
Yeah.
from the candidates?
From the fresh graduate or also we as a student?
Okay, I would take your question is if I am being the recruiter, what will I expect from the candidates, right?
Yes.
Satu saja saya tengok, correct attitude, everything boleh jalan. Trust me. Attitude is very important. If you have a positive mindset, positive attitude, can be a team player, and then willing to learn. You can have no knowledge at all and then datang nak bekerja. Memang of course that is a no lah. But then above all, if you think that you are still kekurangan, that is explainable. You are fresh grads. Kita boleh terima all of that, but then have a positive mindset, develop yourself together with the industry people, then nothing can stop your way. Trust me.
Thank you, Fiona. Banyak batch daripada saya excited untuk try job di Sarawak. Hope one day we can meet.
Boleh, sure. God's will kita boleh berjumpa, boleh. By phones, by social media, or by face to face, we can arrange for it. No problem.
Okay, last one question from the FB Live. Sekejap ya. Di awal kerja dulu, macam mana nak gain technical skills, involve machine problems yang kita tak tahu. Kebiasaan perempuan kurang bab ni. Any of you can explain or both of you can explain this? Technical skill involved in machine problems.
Saya jawab dulu lah kot sebab saya hari tu saya masuk sebagai commissioning engineer kan. Okay, saya masa saya awal-awal masuk pun, even saya masa dekat Granite Quarry pun, semua benda adalah teori. Yang saya belajar dekat U dulu semua teori. So saya tak tahu apa itu, walaupun saya tahu tu jaw crusher macam mana bentuk dia semua apa, tapi saya tak tahu parts yang kena ganti tau. So sebenarnya kita kena tahu parts ni semua is very important sebab you will decide, other than that, you will decide also on the wear and tear punya issue lah. So macam masa saya dekat Hume Cement, masa saya baru masuk, saya ada cerita tadi kan, saya first time tengok crusher tu. Saya first time tengok double rotor hammer crusher. Saya tak pernah tengok yang dia punya hammer tu berpusing-pusing macam tu. Dan dia sangat besar sebab saya punya crusher capacity is 1200 ton per hour. So saya masa tu saya tak tahu apa-apa langsung. Even nama bolt yang dia letak, bearing tu, size apa semua saya tak tahu. Tapi along the way saya duduk kat sana, benda tu jadi hands on. Saya sendiri bila ada problem, saya sendiri yang attend. Sekali dengan mechanical, dengan electrical. From there saya belajar one by one, saya tengok drawing, benda ni sekali untuk macam kita punya equipment tau, macam lori, excavator, semua apa. So saya belajar sendiri dan saya tanya-tanya orang. Saya tengok YouTube, parts tu saya baca drawing. Kita tengok apa nama drawing tu, dia ada macam-macam parts. Bearing, V-belt apa size. So tahun-tahun tu saya sendiri belajar sampai semua benda tu dah register dalam otak. So untuk technical ni memang kita kena ada hands on. Lepas tu kita kena willing to learn. Bukan duduk office saja. Memang kena turun site, turun bila ada problem memang pergi participate. Memang saya tak kisah bermandian grease pun apa, dulu saya memang join pasang balik parts-parts tu. Memang saya tolong apa yang dia orang buat. So from that kita boleh belajar lah on technical part. Saya tak tahu lah, jangan rasa geli lah macam no grease kadang-kadang kita tu. Lepas tu kalau macam kita kerja in this kind of environment ke apa, always bawa hari-hari saya bawa baju untuk salin. Sebab saya pernah bermandian diesel, saya pernah bermandian tanah sebab buat benda-benda macam ni. So always prepare lah untuk benda-benda macam ni. Technical tu very important sebab nanti bila you orang dalam meeting ke apa, orang bila ada problem, orang refer to that, you understand apa yang dia refer. Dan kalau planning untuk maintenance pun, you boleh faham apa yang maintenance team present untuk kita. So kita tak adalah macam blur ke, ini part apa, kita tak tahu. Tapi kalau orang tanya macam belt belt punya part, kita boleh jawab. Kita boleh jawab dengan yakin. Apa you punya belt 1800. Okay, you boleh jawab semua benda tu. So, kalau let's say you ada isu macam plan kami besar kan. So, kadang-kadang maintenance is not available. So, untuk discharge barang tu from store untuk bagi dekat technician, you tahu apa barang yang apa yang rosak, apa yang nak kena ganti. So, itulah yang pentingnya. Kalau you faham technical ni, is added value lah. You akan very excel in your work. Okay, Fiona?
Yes, of course, setuju lah apa yang Puan Extayani cakap tadi. Of course, kita pun start daripada graduate engineer juga. Of course, masa dekat study life, so you learn as much as you can. Okay, especially on the theories, and then kita faham, of course, orang industry will understand you don't have that privilege to go for industrial training. But then like I mentioned, kalau you ada positive mindset, the first day you start kerja nanti, okay, be involved dengan team on the ground. Yes, you are graduated as an engineer, but don't have that mindset. You are already at the top. Jangan. Always your mindset is the most important thing. So macam yang Extayani cerita just now, even kami pun at this level, sometimes we have to go down, bring tools, buat kerja. Okay, play with all the dirts. Play around with work together with the operators. So macam tu saja you can gain the experience. Like myself, masa dekat Penjom, I work together with my operators team. I cakap, okay, at that time, abang, I nak belajar bawa dozer. Boleh tak tunjuk macam mana? Because that is only the time yang you boleh hands on. Okay, yang you boleh hands on. So masa study, you learn all of that theories. Because why? Yes, masa you pergi industry, there are more people yang very well versed about operation. But you can have your contribution. You can say, okay, what if we do it this way? What if we do it according to the other plan? Maybe it can be better. So you work together. So macam tu, then you will learn from there. Okay, so as what Extayani shared just now, jangan takut dengan all that kotor. Diesel lah, you main dengan mud, you main dengan whatever. That is our industry. You buat sen, you kena pegang sen. You kena tahu quality okay ke tak, customer saya suka ke tak. You buat clay, you kena buat benda yang sama. You buat coal lagi lah, carbonaceous material, dark coal, you memang kena pegang. So embrace yourself, be ready. So be ready, be confident. I would say you guys are still so young. So go out there, explore more, explore the world. That is how you can build your passion dalam kita punya industry. So don't be afraid. Of course, you will start with I would say, I won't say zero lah, Maybe you will start with very minimal, but you build it along your journey. Of course, when you ask us, masa you tanya kita orang, how do we see us dalam 10-20 tahun akan datang? So likewise, kita nak tanya you guys balik, how do you see yourself dalam 10-20 tahun akan datang? Okay, don't compare with your other friends. Masing-masing ada rezeki masing-masing. Okay, of course, during your first career journey, do the best. Do the best. Okay, you know your goal. You tahu apa yang you nak achieve. You nak jadi IR, or you nak jadi high top at the management. You nak stay in the operation, or you nak duduk dekat planning team. You know. Like what have been shared just now, you akan ada plan A, plan B, plan C. You will know what you want, but of course, what you want only is not the main issue. It has to be jive together dengan the world condition, the market condition now. So yes, I hope that can benefit all of you guys.
Okay. Terima kasih Puan Extayani dan Puan Fiona di atas penerangan yang sangat jelas. Sebelum kita mengakhiri sesi ini, can you give one last short advice for our audience ya? Sebab audience kita ada juga yang student STPM, mungkin kata-kata encouragement untuk orang pursuing kita punya course iaitu kejuruteraan sumber mineral. Mungkin Puan Extayani boleh mulakan dahulu.
Puan Yani, mic Puan Yani tak buka.
Okay, lupa buka. Okay, jangan takut lah. Jangan takut kalau apa yang you orang buat rasa akan fail sebab it's a part of our learning journey. Sampai bila-bila pun kita akan belajar kan. Lepas tu kita pun should also take the responsibility untuk tukar orang punya mindset. So that's I think that's my final word lah. Fiona?
Okay, Fiona. Puan Fiona.
Okay, I think tak banyak lah untuk touch on because we have shared banyak experience, banyak advice. So what I would want to say is be ready. This is purely attention to the fellow students lah. So be ready for the work environment dekat luar tu. And be ready to be reacting to all of this new reality. Ready for the fun. So build your passion. Most importantly for now is concentrate in your studies, excel in your studies, okay, and then you will be ready for the environment, for the work environment dekat luar. So most importantly is ready for the fun, okay, your fun during your study, your fun during your working life. So we are all the living testimony. Come to us, approach us. You have our numbers, you have our contacts. Tak ada contact pun, you can contact through FB, whatever mode of social media nowadays, LinkedIn. If you need to seek for any advice from the industrial expert, please do so. Do not be, orang kata jangan malu, malu sesat jalan. So word of advice is accept advice, accept any words of encouragement, always open for constructive criticism. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okey, dengan berakhirnya nasihat daripada kedua-dua panel kita, maka selesai sudah sesi kita pada pagi ini. Jutaan terima kasih kami ucapkan kepada Puan Extayani dan Puan Fiona di atas perkongsian ilmu yang luar biasa di bawah tajuk Challenging Past as Women in Mining. Saya berharap agar Puan Extayani dan juga Puan Fiona tidak akan jemu ya dan sudi lagi untuk berkolaborasi lagi bersama kami di masa yang akan datang. Okey, untuk pengetahuan para hadirin sekalian, saya ingin memaklumkan ya, pada pukul 2 petang nanti terdapat lagi satu sesi yang akan berlangsung di mana di paparan adalah speaker-speaker yang kita jemput ya. Dengan tajuk-tajuk yang lebih hebat, diharapkan kita berjumpa lagi lah pada petang ini. Sekian, sebelum saya mengundur diri, saya ingin memohon maaf ya jika terdapat kasar bahasa, kesilapan teknikal dan lain-lain. Sekian, saya sudahi event ini dengan satu kata-kata yang saya jumpa. Mereka yang bahagia bukanlah mereka yang hidup tanpa masalah, tetapi mereka yang berani ya mengelola setiap masalah menjadi penuh hikmah. Dengan itu, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih.
Okay, dah end live, Facebook live. Okay, thank you Puan Fiona, Puan Extayani untuk
Sampai Udi.
thank you. Sorry kalau ada masalah daripada pihak tim yang tadi ada internet connection, moderator apa semua.
Minta maaf
Rasa macam dengan
Tak apa,
motivasi.
sama juga.
Kan? Motivasi.
Sama juga.
Aku
That's
dah
why
rasa
I
macam
cannot open up video sekali dengan slide lah. So antara salah satu or else memang jam.
Fiona, aku rasa next time kita tak payah jadi engineer, kita tak payah jadi manager lah. Kita boleh jadi